morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the RS Process. Today is a beautiful day. I am surrounded by my family. Man, clap, 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 clap. This is a big one right here. So I'm gonna allow everybody to introduce myself, but I'm Robert, representing Robbie, Deshaun, Courtney, Clarence, Denise, Kennedy, and Morgan. That's where I'm from. And this is called the Lonzo Thelma Process. That's why we're here. We're here to rehash our childhood with questions and development to see how we was raised. And we're bringing all these energies because we used to do this when we was on the porch. We would see each other. Kenyae would come, Fee would come, Lamont would come, Dougie come, Roger would come. Who else? We got, no, let me stop right there. Let me just let everybody get introduced. Who you represent, Fifi?
Do I say my name or, my name or?
You can say who.
Oh, Fifi.
AKA.
Felicia, AKA Fifi. I am representing Betty. Rodney, Maurice, Yolanda, God rest her soul.
Yes, indeed.
And Justin.
Yes, indeed. Lamont, go ahead.
Lamont, representing Mimi, Gerald Denise Oldham, brother Roderick, wife Danielle, 5 beautiful kids, and 3 grandchildren.
Like that, yay. What you got?
My name's Kenyae. I'm representing Gladys Knight
That's a powerful name.
and my brothers and sisters, Lisa, John, Zena, and my son, Kenyae Jr.
Yes. Yeah, this the beginning. I mean, you know, we got a big family, so
Huge.
who's supposed to be here is here today, and I want the most authentic version of y'all, like we always get when we talk. If we just doing it for ourselves, this was like what I call modern day family reunion, because we got to do it digitally and visually now, so virtually or whatever. So we can start this off by just getting into it. Question I want to ask my family members is, describe your childhood in one word. Try to explain it. What was your childhood like? I would say for myself, my childhood was challenging. Reason why is because I have 3 other brothers, Deshaun, Courtney, and Clarence, and then became Marcel and Aaron. But the challenge of being a brother, no females in the family, all daddy, one mama, it was a lot of rat racing. My father, he was a very black MacGyver kind of guy, so he taught us this military shit, had us in these motherfucking boots for a while, and lined up our hair. Nobody was rocking none of that stuff, but he was trying to keep us in line, but we was out of line because we was young. But we stayed in line because we had all these aunties and uncles.
Yeah.
So I would say my childhood was challenging. Yay. How was you? One word. Give me your childhood and describe it.
Jeez, one word. I would have to say, you actually took mine. So,
You go with that.
Yeah,
You want to elaborate.
I mean, mine was challenging as well. You know, and to elaborate on it, it was fun until I reached a certain age.
It makes sense.
That's when it became challenging. Right?
What age you think? 20s, 30s,
Nah.
teens?
Teens.
Okay.
Teens. Mine was, I want to say, about 11, 12.
Damn.
That's when it became challenging.
All right.
Your kick in was around about 11 or 12?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that because that's going to go into something else. Okay.
Yeah, mine kicked in around here.
Is that when you got logical intelligence, your logical started kicking in, or your emotion, or which one? Both?
Both. You know, not really realizing what was happening around you. You know, sometimes we think one thing is happening when it's actually a whole other thing happening, right?
Yeah.
In a nutshell, that's what it was for me.
Challenging. I concur with that. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go over to you, Lamont. What was your childhood like?
I think
One word.
I think we all have that same. It was challenging. You know what I'm saying? And just to elaborate on what you two said, growing up, you know what I'm saying, with an alpha mother. You know, wasn't easy. You see what I'm saying? Wasn't easy at all.
Amen.
You know, hey, I'd rather go outside and play than be in the house. You know what I'm saying? And it was gangsters and all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go out and play with the killers than be in the house with an alpha, you know what I'm saying, female.
And reason why?
I guess grandma and granddaddy, I mean, her brothers and sisters, I mean, how she was raised, you know what I'm saying?
And she was the baby.
And she was the baby. Right. So,
but they made us go outside too.
Yeah. So, very challenging. And then me getting, you know what I'm saying, older, like Ye said, around about 12 or 13, it was more of a, you know what I'm saying, it's time to grow up and be like, you know what I'm saying, like a little, like a little man, because you seen what a need was from, you know what I'm saying, our situation, you know what I'm saying, as far as that. So challenging.
That's deep. That's challenging. Challenge. So we got 3 challenges. So that leads us to Fifi. What was your childhood like in one word?
Rich.
Nice. Explain that.
All right.
Give me this.
So my mother left my father at an early age for us.
Okay.
So she became a single parent.
Okay. I never associated that to that.
Yeah, so she became a single parent. But we wouldn't have never known that we were poor on food stamps, or she was doing the best she could because she never made us feel like that. And then along came Larry, Uncle Larry.
Shout out to Larry.
Shout out to Uncle Larry, who
Junebug. Sorry, get to go there.
Whatever he had going on in his life, he put it on hold. He came, helped Mama, raised us. So forever thankful. So rich.
Okay,
that's deep.
That's it right there.
That's what I'm looking for. Like I don't know this unless y'all said, and we talk about it, but we ain't never gathered and kind of heard it. We ain't did no round tables. I think maybe our generation, well, the elders, I'm gonna call them the elders. Elders might have did the round tables. You know, they was drinking, they was doing all their thing. Obviously, we ain't doing that now. We having a little sip, but somehow it's just modern. That's our thing. And we elders now, so but we modern elders. So we didn't transform from the traditional to this modern day kind of. We was out of line, now we back in line. So we saw both sides. Yeah. So that's what we kind of want to get into. We saw this generational thing kind of break down. I don't know if it's curses or behaviors, but I digress and say I go to the panel and see what the next question will be.
Okay, everybody. We just have a few questions, and Fifi will be the first one. But before we even get to it, the show is about generational curses. So generational habits, generational behaviors, generational traits, whatever name you want to put with it, because we've had good generational experiences from our parents and grandparents.
Yes.
And we've also had some challenging ones, like the word you guys use,
Yeah.
challenging. So everybody know what generational curses or behaviors is, right?
Pretty
everybody
much.
understand it? Okay. So Fifi, question. Do you believe in generational curses? Or do you believe in generational behaviors, or both?
I guess I would have to say both. Generational curses in terms of, like, we come from a family that loves to drink on a regular basis. And
happy drinkers though.
to a degree.
To a degree, yeah.
To a degree. To a degree.
It started out happy.
It started. You're right. It start off happy.
By midnight,
It's over. It's over. So I would say the drinking part has trickled down.
Okay. Real talk.
To the different generations, and in terms of behavior, I think we all have it pretty honest when it comes to our mannerisms, our demeanor, and the fact that we don't take no crap and no bullshit.
Not gonna be able to do it.
No bullshit from anybody, you know, to a degree, because of who our parents are.
Yeah.
And who their parents were.
Exactly.
We come from a pretty strong-minded, strong-willed family.
Family overall. No
Overall.
matter where you go with this.
And I think I said this to Lamont. I might have said it to Robert Jr. too. My personal opinion is, we may have our issues, but we're not gonna let no outsider come in and disrespect
I ain't seen it yet.
Yeah.
one of us. I mean, we may not talk on a regular basis, but if somebody has an issue, we're there, no matter what the circumstances. But no outsider can come in and disrespect this family, in my opinion.
Yes.
We just form a fucking wall. That's all we do. All they can do.
Yes. Well said. Well said.
Well said. That's
Yeah,
Okay.
that was well said. I like how you elaborated on that.
Yes, indeed.
Does anybody else want to answer that question?
I give anybody.
Lamont, you
know
over there pondering.
Yeah.
I mean, because mine is there, but it you know.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of elaborate why it's on my mind. So, the questions are, do I believe in generational curses or behavior?
Correct.
So,
Both.
So I believe in generational behaviors. I only believe in generational curses because that's how it was told to me.
Right.
The curse, like I said, I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in no ghosts, goblins, vampires, none of that. So that's that realm of curse to me when I say curse. Generational, I believe in because it trickles down either up or down.
Yeah.
So I believe in the generational behavior. So I would say this. So the generational Sanders-ish, because it's mixed with a whole lot of,
Right.
different this and that. Our behaviors are trickled down because our aunties and uncles had this very decorum that they wanted us to see, because if they didn't, that's why they told us to get our ass out the house, go in the room.
Or go on the porch.
Because they didn't want to see us all their behaviors. So
Yeah.
we didn't see a lot of their behaviors, but we always caught their behaviors on the tail end.
Yeah.
And it trickled down. So that made me like, I want to be like my auntie Mimi or Betty, because they were smooth. These are women. Like I love my auntie. Like these are the women, because they always kept the composure. But I seen when they was off the hook too. But then I seen when they kept everybody in line, and everything was a good party, because Betty was in there cooking, Mimi was in there cooking, Zani was in there cooking, and they was doing a fair share and balance.
Yeah.
I saw all this stuff, and then it trickled down with us. So I look at us now. So I see the drinking, like you said. The drinking has definitely trickled down, and the behaviors has gotten better, but it's so many of us now. So I don't know if it's out of whack or it's in line. I can't be the one to determine, because we don't see everybody. So it's just, we have a bigger family now, and that's why we're doing this, because we don't know who nobody is until we know who somebody is. So this is the start of the family, understanding how we got here. We all doing decent. Ain't nobody rich right now, but we're doing decent. We're staying alive. But the generational behaviors for me is just, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, well, I'm like this. And then I go to my daddy, I go to Betty, I go to Mimi, I go to Larry, I go to Gladys, I go to Ye, I go to Fifi. All this shit is just circulating. It ain't going to get resolved till I guess I talk to y'all. So that's why we here.
Well, I think behavior and curse go kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
The reason why, because if you can break the curse by just the change of your behavior, right? And teaching your kids, you know what I'm saying? Because we really wasn't taught like that.
No, we wasn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say, we picked it up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though that they was doing it.
Yeah.
And even probably, you know what I'm saying? Even probably let us do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bump your own head.
Yeah.
But
They did do that.
yeah, but it's generational curses.
Didn't tell us why we couldn't do it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And
Told us not to do it, but didn't tell us why we couldn't
You know
do
what I'm
it.
saying?
So created the double standard.
True that. That's why they go but hand in hand. But but you can break a general curse from the behavior. Teaching better. You know what I'm saying? Even we ate fucked up.
Yeah.
Our eating habits was terrible, man. It was stuff we
focus.
It's
on.
stuff
That's all I gotta say.
it's stuff that I eat now.
Yeah.
That my kids don't eat. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
good point.
Back then.
Well, see, I can't say that because Larry cooked a bean every day.
Bean.
So we had beans.
I wasn't. That's not. I'm not saying that, but you look, it was some type of way we could have ate healthy back then. I know it was. Yay! Come on now.
Neck bone.
Neck bone. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of pork.
You know, but a lot of that. You know.
A lot of potatoes and bread.
High blood pressure to this day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're
right, because I love the fact that grandmama, on an 80-degree day, she would go in the kitchen and cook a Sunday meal on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Today, grandma won't be out of line for doing it. You see the difference in the generational? Yeah. She'll be out of line for doing it.
And that's what I mean by generation. You can break that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That can become a curse. So,
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. Real talk.
That's why they go hand in hand. Yay?
Yeah, this is perfect for you because I know you got something to say.
To piggyback off of what Fifi and Lamont said, I agree with that. You know, my mother was different when it came to that.
Yeah.
You know, I used to joke with them and call it rabbit food. So that's what she used to feed us.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm tired of this rabbit food.
Yeah.
All she gave us was salad. And
But your mama made the best pancakes, though.
she did do that.
Yeah.
But when Lisa started cooking, like that's what got me to eating beans. Like you said, the beans. I didn't eat beans.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa made me start
Is that right?
eating beans.
Yeah.
I did not
Big
eat
sister.
beans. My mother
Shout
would
out to
eat
Lisa.
chicken.
Yes.
Yep. My mother would make chicken, and she wasn't big on pork.
Okay.
Not for
That's
real.
that's what's up.
But she used to make us. We ate salad almost
So you
every
ate salad?
day.
Man, it wasn't no salad in my house.
It was every day.
A few times in my house. That's all I'm saying.
I ain't seen a salad.
But I feel like that's a part of that. As you were saying, like the behavior can be taught because I teach my son. I put myself in. I got myself. Well, thank God that he got me together, and I was open to hear what he was doing it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could get myself in line and in tune with what I was trying to do with my life. Like you said, you wake up like, why am I like this?
Yeah.
I asked that same question every
Every
day,
morning.
and I started praying and like something has to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want something different for myself, especially when I had when my son was born, when she had my child.
Right.
I took earrings out. I cut my hair off. I didn't want my son looking at me like I want to be like that.
See, that's
Isn't that amazing?
I changed my
that's
image.
breaking the curse.
That's
And
breaking the
that,
curse.
that type of thing.
That's
That's
breaking
what
the
started
curse.
my
That's the purpose.
path in my eyes
Yeah.
as far as breaking generational curses.
Yes.
Because everything that I learned, like I had many talks with my mother about just like what's going on just in my with my siblings.
Yeah.
Right? My
yeah.
immediate.
Overall.
I'm like something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Love my mother to death. But one of the realizations that I came to, and I've talked to her about this, I was like, you weren't taught everything. And sometimes when you have adult conversations with your parents as adults, they get offended. Or they take it personal.
Amen.
And I'm like, this is not me throwing a dagger at you.
Yeah.
This is me asking questions because I'm trying to figure out why am I like this?
They from the generation that they did.
Sidebar.
Okay. Yeah.
What you just
Yeah.
what you
just
said,
opened up Pandora's
what you just
box.
said on that right there. But you know what the perfect word for that they would give us? I mean, the perfect phrase, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm grown. I raised you.
That,
You didn't raise me.
yeah.
Man, I swear, if that was a book, I know I'm in it. I know you in it.
Yeah.
I know we all in there, right?
200%.
Sidebar.
I love this.
In reference to piggyback off what Kenyae said, I know for me, raising a son, you know, double duty.
Yeah.
You know, so it was, I'm the mother, got the emotional support, and then trying to be the father, the disciplinary, you know, it was rough.
I'm sure.
It was rough. And then my son said to me a while ago, and I think I told Robert Jr. this, I don't know if I told him about that, that he said that I was transferring how I felt about his father onto him.
You know, that's the deep.
A lot of
That's the deep.
women
lot of-
do that,
yeah.
especially to their sons.
But you know
You didn't
what's-
know you was doing.
You didn't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I really didn't because I truly didn't feel one way or the other about Bob because he made a choice. not to be a part of Justin's life. So I never said a negative thing about him.
Right.
Christmas came. There was a gift up under the tree with his name on it. And then as Justin got older, he would say to me, I know you did that. You know what I'm saying? But that transference, I guess I didn't see it. And maybe somewhere within, I might be guilty. But, in terms of...
Yeah, a little bit, because like Santa Claus, you know.
Santa Claus.
I'm just saying, you know, I don't teach my kids.
Well, Santa Claus, at a certain age, he realized that I told him, I was like, I'm Santa Claus. I worked too hard to get a white man, prepared for...
as far as breaking generational curses,
right.
I'm not about to tell my kid no fear
about
what's not real. And had him growing up thinking, like I did, you know what I'm saying? Like it was, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't need the fairy tale. Our kids need to know the real. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, when it kicked in with us, is around about 12 years old. It was like, hold on, man. Somebody been lying to me all this time.
Why they?
Because ain't no Santa. Come on now.
Okay.
We don't have no chimney.
No.
Yeah, let me throw my sidebar.
How you coming in? Where you coming in at?
Let me throw my sidebar in. This reminds me of this. I'm going to take it to another level. So, this sidebar. So in the family, with all this confusion, who we are, who we going to be, who do we look up to, who do we take for guidance, and going forward, I had this really serious, like, why? That's how I became an engineer. I still don't know how the fuck I became an engineer at GM Ford and Craig. I should be sitting in a meeting job like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. It's like Thelma and Lonzo, and nobody didn't teach me none of this. So I was in there lost.
Right.
Might have had the aptitude, the thought process, the get there, but I still was confused. Wow. I'm in there like, I don't know why I'm doing here, because nobody taught me, nobody gave me the confidence, nobody said, Rob, do this, my daddy. Even when I went to the military, I was bullshitting one day. I just signed up, and then they was like, "You can't." I passed the test, and they was like, "No, you can't get out now." I had nobody to defend me and nothing. I don't know how I went to. That's how I went to the military. I was bullshitting.
Wow.
I was like, I went there
knew that
because I ain't had nothing to do. I mean, about to get out of school, everybody seemed like they was going to college in Highland Park High. And then I took this test because a recruiter got me because I'm weak. Ain't nobody. They made me take the test. I went down there, took the bus, paid for it all.
They hit him with that.
Yeah.
I took the test and they told me I'll never forget in Highland Park the recruiter told me and Vet went to take the test, and he said to me, I don't think the military is for you.
Whoa, really? Yeah.
He sure did. He said, I don't think it's for you. He said, I think you need to look into another path.
Wow,
that's deep. See,
and me and Vet passed the test, but he sure did.
Right. No, young lady. Do something else with your life.
He did. He
come on, young man.
Interesting.
You need to.
That was the contract you need to hear. That's the contract you need to hear.
He sure did. He sure did.
That's deep. So, okay, I digress on that because we want to go into another question, but we can go hard on that. But
but the next question actually is a feedback from what you've already talked about, because Kenyae and Lamont kind of mentioned how they raise their children. And the next question is, what traits have you passed down to your children? Good and bad. So you got to answer both, good and bad.
We can get back on that too, though, because I want to elaborate on a little bit more of that as well.
Yeah, so traits. Lamont, since you were already flowing, go ahead. So what traits have you passed down to your children, good and bad?
Well, as first as, good. No, to start with the bad.
Okay.
Like I say, it's still some work for me to do as well, you know what I'm saying, as a parent. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the best husband. My son saw that, and it kind of messed him up. CJ, you know what I'm saying?
Little resentment there?
Yeah, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? He thought I was Superman, couldn't do no wrong. The arguments and everything that me and the wife had, and, me coming in, types of night, hanging out, drunk,
That's real talk, cuz.
And that's the generational curse that I had to break as far as, what I'm saying, seeing that. I've seen that all the time, what I'm saying, growing up, it was just that type, what I'm saying. So as far as the bad, what I'm saying, he started on that path, but I taught him as far as how to carry yourself out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? He didn't grow up as hard as I did. You know,
That's always a difference. Yeah.
grew up hard. Yeah, it wasn't a bad area when we first moved over, was it? Fee?
No.
It was beautiful, right?
Oh my God, yeah, I can't, yeah,
Until
yeah.
Tubbs came in.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to walk to the Dairy Queen. I
Yeah,
mean, one of
true
the
that.
best Dairy Queens on these 7 Mile. I mean, one of the best Dairy Queens.
So that's one of the bad things. As far as the good things, you know what I'm saying, I done passed down to my kids is, you know what I'm saying, we always had, you know what I'm saying, I don't think none of my cousins or, you know what I'm saying, that's one thing our parents didn't take lightly. You know what I'm saying, respect.
Yeah. Being out of line, and they knew it.
Respect.
You'd be out of line, but they didn't know it.
You know,
You got your ass whooped by Betty, Mimi. Gladys didn't whoop ass, but she put them powerful words on you, so you still
Man,
get
look,
ass.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't,
whooped me.
Yeah, I seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah, I seen that. So, yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Oh no, I seen that. Oh yeah, she got down.
Okay,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying, with her praying hands. She got down. But yeah, as far as you know, just you know, my kids didn't have to grow up like I did. You know what I'm saying? Especially the last two, for the most part. And that's what I try to, you know, just good mannerism, eating healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Taking care of yourself at a young age so you won't have to suffer, you know what I'm saying, as you get older. Because even the school's fed is terrible.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like health conscious now.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, just conscious.
Yeah.
You know, growing up, life gives you that.
You're
Yeah,
being
you gotta
more
be-
aware. You're more aware.
Yeah,
of what's
more
going
aware.
on,
Yeah,
what
so
you're putting
you know
in
what
your
I'm
body,
saying.
what
Right.
you're
So
feeding your kids.
that's what I like to pass down. You know what I'm saying? That's the good thing that I pass down to them. So you know, they're all fine and healthy. So yeah.
Okay.
That's
All right.
nice. That's good. You gave me some thought for all that.
Robert, what have you passed down to your children? What traits, good and bad?
So it's funny. This works because I'm listening to you. I would have had to doctor it up what I was going to say, so I wasn't the best husband at the same time. I'm going to just incriminate myself and say, I can say I was a good guy, but then if the way I was lined up with trying to be a husband, it didn't line up. No, I can admit that my steps was trying to be in line, but it was awkward because I still had some unfinished work over here, which is what you said, you're unfinished, and you ain't doing stuff accordingly. But I remember being married and being proud that I was married, but I ain't kind of know what to do. I did not know what the fuck to do, but I was going
In the position.
Yeah, I know how to play basketball, but even playing basketball, I didn't know what to do. You see what I'm saying? I'm in the game.
Figured it out.
I figured it out. I think that's where I'm going with this, because I remember playing basketball. I remember when I joined the team. I'm going to get back to the top. I remember when I got on the basketball team, I didn't know over and back was out of bounds. I didn't know that. And I played basketball at least 15 million times before I got into the real deal. I didn't know the rules.
Okay.
So I did the most stupidest shit, and everybody else knew but me. It's like, how did I miss that? Like, nobody told me. So I got the feeling that we was missed a lot of stuff we wasn't told.
Yeah.
So as I'm married and proud, having eventually 2 kids, Kennedy and Morgan, and Rebecca, and then we got together, and we childhood sweethearts, and we got together off that, so to speak, not really knowing what to do. So as I progressed through this, trying to be a husband, I made some awkward steps because I wasn't right. So infidelity, going somewhere, coming in, doing whatever I wanted to do, and it created some fudge in a relationship, which caused it resentment toward my daughters to this moment.
This moment, okay.
Tried everything I could to kind of bring it back together. Even had the videos with my daughter in the beginning.
Yeah.
She back to this and that, but time. I know time, grace, and time heals everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with all that
what
said,
behaviors, what traits, good and bad? did
That's the
you
bad.
pass down? Okay.
so that's the bad. I had to explain that because I remember going through that. I didn't know what to do. So the bad was this, it was going to happen. So the good is that I developed through that and got better as I started explaining to them. And when I was in my dilemma, I started explaining to them, building a better relationship with my daughters. I got the best relationship with my daughters, even in this kerfuffle moment.
In the midst of.
And I got the best relationship with them, but if I'm from the old school, then I want to kick their ass right now. I want to choke one of them.
Yeah.
but we can't do that now.
No.
So I got to give it grace, and I kind of let it. So I trickle down with them a lot of good behavior skills because I still open the door for my lady to this day because of stuff I saw my daddy do, Larry do, just people do in our family. So I got some traits out of that, but it was scattered, man. It was scattered. So the good stuff that I obtained to get in my kids right now is just keep your composure, stay yourself together. I don't think I raised them independent because that's what's going on with the women today. They got the black children women got to be so independent. You don't want them to be so independent. You want them to be able to work with somebody. So I try to get them, a lot of knowledge from me just as a male, and they don't like it, but I still got to give it.
You got
Right.
to. You got to.
So they appreciate that eventually, but we're in a little resentment format. But the good and the bad happen like all the time, and you just got to have grace for definitely your kids, but everything now.
Yes.
So I digress and pass the book.
Okay, does any Fifi or Kenyae, do you want to answer that question, or you want to go to the next question?
You want to, Fifi?
Go ahead.
I'll just say
Good and bad.
this is what I told my son. I said I didn't have what you have.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not throwing that up in your face. I'm just letting you know this is from my perspective as a parent. My first child, only child. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is the opposite of what was done to me.
Yeah. Breaking up.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
Which was starting off just being here, right? And I said, if I do anything that you feel is out of line, out of whack, you offended, I done pissed you off, I'm like, talk to me,
Yeah.
right?
That's fair.
Let me know. As
That's
long as
fair.
you come and talk to me respectfully, we can talk about anything. I
Right.
said, because like I mentioned a second ago, I don't know what I'm doing. That's the reality, right?
Like that.
So that's just one of the things. Like I told one of his coaches, I said, I'm hard on him, but I don't make it hard for him.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
as black men, a lot of us, kind of what Fifi touched on about our little cousin Justin, a lot of black males to this day are hurting about not having their fathers around.
Real talk.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us, I know guys that's older than me that's still dealing with it.
And he's
Right? And I'm
truly
blessed to
dealing
live
with
to
it.
see 47 at this moment, right? And there's a lot of men that are hurting and they hide it
Yeah.
by drinking,
Yeah.
want to have a lot of sex.
Yeah.
They hang out all day.
Yeah.
They come home, fight with their wives, girlfriend. Like, I see it happening.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a mental illness on another level.
And that's what that is. So,
Which has
I've
a
never
call-
done those things.
But you can see the other side.
I've seen the other side.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Cause and effect.
with the good thing, because at the end of the day, I think you never really know for real if you doing good or bad at the end of the day.
And not just
You
because you got
feel
money.
like you are, you
Yeah.
think you are,
Yeah.
you hope you are.
Yeah.
No sidebar. You'll know.
I mean,
You
It's-
you know
it's-
how you'll know? Because your son or daughter will do something
Oh.
that you
Okay.
taught them.
Okay.
so
And-
I mean, I'm sorry, not to cut you.
Sidebar.
Sidebar. So when I said that, not speaking about the children, just speaking like about people in life.
Okay. In general.
Like how you were like, I didn't realize I was doing it, but you didn't. You thought you was doing right.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't know
Yeah.
in that sense, but I agree 100% with that because I've watched my son do things and I'm like, wow, he
Exactly.
was listening.
He was listening.
Wow, he didn't even know I was hearing him. Hey man, y'all can't be back here cussing. My daddy gonna make y'all go home.
Yeah.
And I'm in the window like,
Wow.
okay.
Proud
They
mom.
hear us.
Proud
They
mom.
hear us.
Proud
No,
mom.
they hear us.
You know what I mean?
They listen and they
They're
hear us,
listening.
and they pick and choose
Exactly.
when they
Okay.
want to show us.
Exactly.
And for me, with Justin, it's like he has our temperament.
Yeah.
That anger, that temper. That's the bad. When you get mad, the voices get to yelling, go high. So that's the bad. But the good is, like I was telling Bridget and Robert Jr., I mean, Justin has this. We've got this ghetto side. You know, he's been in the streets, but you can put him in a room with presidents of universities.
Had an intelligent conversation.
Hold his own. You know, he can adapt to his environment. And back to, he's been listening to what I've said. Like, I hear him on the phone saying, it's okay, no problem. No need to apologize, because if somebody says, you know, I apologize for taking, you know, so long, I say no need for apologies, and I hear him say no need for apologies, or I thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm sitting there saying to myself,
That's deep.
I would say like,
That's
what?
Yeah.
And he has a heart of gold.
I believe
He
that.
would want to give the bum,
believe that.
every bum on the street money if he could.
His spirit is
We had to
deep.
go to the. It's one man that's been under Greenfield and 8 Mile for the longest. We had to go drop some coats off
Okay.
to him.
Okay. Okay.
That's him. But now, you know, so yeah.
How I'm feeling about what you telling that story, because it trickled down through you. I don't know his daddy, but I know how it flows through Justin. He remind me of definitely an old school family member.
Exactly.
He don't remind me of a 32-year-old now. Martez is kind of like this. Martez, they kind of throwbacks, because they got a lot of the double. They got their mother and father, uncles, aunties, and us, and they still dibble dabble in the kind of like old school. Like Justin made me old school. When I talk to him, it's like I'm talking to somebody like Maurice or something back then. But kind of like Maurice too. But I feel like I'm talking to somebody back then. So he got an old spirit. So he was blessed with that.
He has his
was blessed
moments.
with
So
Yeah.
so that's that. My one and only. That's what I call him. My one and only.
Let me add this one little small thing in here, because I was hearing y'all, and I remember the authority got taken away from us. We can't use the authority that was applied to us in all these formats, how we got like this. So authority was applied to us. Don't do this, don't do that, do as I say. You know, take your ass in the room, go sit your ass down, be still. You know, we got in that era where it really made a difference. But them powers was taken away from us. You try this shit. I remember telling the story on the video. I tried whooping my daughter Kennedy, and I felt I was wrong doing it, because I was just doing something because I remembered it back then. I felt I was wrong because she did something, but I wanted to put my authority down.
Yeah.
And I was like, She just took that shit. I was like, damn, this is like the Sanders family right here. She resentment. She didn't. It didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Justin took it and then went to school and told them that I beat him.
See, yeah.
And
That's that new stuff now.
right, that I beat him. And thank God I was one of those parents that involved, knew every teacher, you know, and you know I was that parent. So I remember getting the call saying, Miss Beckham, can you come up to the school? And they said the only reason that we're calling you because we know the parent that you are. Because technically we're supposed to call Protect the Child Services.
Wow.
But he said you beat him. I was like, and I told him, I said, I beat you. Did you tell him what I did to beat you? So yeah,
So did you
you're
take
right.
him home and beat him for saying what?
No, I took the game away.
Okay. So
I took the game away. So no, I didn't beat him. I explained to him. I did explain to him what he did and what would have happened if I was not the parent that I was.
Right.
And they were not. And back then, the teachers really cared.
Is this Mark Twain?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And if and the teachers really cared, and if they were not the type of teachers that really cared, you'd be it not only in trouble, they'd have took you away from me.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Justin is spoiled.
Yeah. They never took no goddamn degree.
That's
Well,
what it is.
Fifi.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Ain't
it.
no,
Side-
no, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Sidebar. Because I want to bounce off of that.
Okay.
So, with that story you just told, do you think you intentionally did something different than your elders? So imagine you being your son, and your mom got called from school, and she came to school. What would the outcome be different? So what intentionally
Ass
did you do
whooping.
different with
Let me
Justin?
cross my legs.
Well, actually, nothing was different because I remember slapping my 5th grade teacher.
Mama, don't start today, Mama. No, Mama.
Hey, no, you don't start it today. I'm not about to do this with you.
I ain't starting it. You starting it today.
And
Hold on, wait a minute. Whoa.
I never heard this
Sad
story.
bar.
You didn't say cuss her out. You
Sad
said
table.
slapped.
You like Chris Tucker slap?
listen, she grabbed me
Okay.
and I slapped her.
What did you learn that from?
Yeah.
What movie was you watching?
That's the
I
question.
slapped her. And back then, teachers, principals, Mr. Graves, principal, I got called into the office and he was, I got paddled
Yeah, this
because
one.
that I got paddled.
Y'all remember the paddles?
I got
Do
paddled.
y'all remember the paddles though?
And then he called my
Hold on,
mama.
this is deep.
the hose.
Women, I ain't never heard of women get paddled. I need to hear this.
Yeah, if you slapping teachers.
He paddled me.
They'll
Then
never
he
get
called
paddled.
my mother. And when I got home, I got it again.
You did?
And my pajama party was canceled. And then she's like, "Where you get off slapping?"
Wow.
So yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
Wait, did
Whoa.
you- Okay, no, go ahead.
So did you get a?
oh,
you got a whooping?
I got my ass beat.
Betty,
And that's what you was. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so you
Put it on record.
intentionally behaved a different way
Okay.
with your son
Yes.
when he got in trouble.
And got the same result that I would have given him back then. If I'm understanding the question.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you think you do different than your elders? Period. It doesn't even have to be with your child. Just period, intentional. Your predecessors, your mother, your grandparents, because this is the Thelma and Lonzo show. So go back to your grandparents. You being an adult now, what have you intentionally changed from growing up?
I'm a lot giving now.
Okay.
I'm a lot giving, and I try to be mindful of what was given to me, and try to give it back.
I like that.
Okay.
Okay. I would like for
Sidebar?
Really quick, this is what I do different with my son.
Okay.
I listen to him. You know what y'all were just speaking on when you first said it, it brought that thought. But a lot of our parents, they didn't listen to us.
Yeah,
They
they
just
did.
tell us, like y'all was saying, shut up, go out, go and do da da da.
Yeah.
Sometimes as parents, even to this day, our generation, a lot of people don't get the whole listening to their children because I'm the parent, shut up, do what I say, versus because they want that I'm in control.
Yeah, that's it. That's
This is my house. I'm doing what I want. And I'm like, you gotta listen to your kids. I've seen a lot of households where parents would. I'm like, the little boy got a pencil in his eye. He trying to get your attention. He's like, didn't I tell you get out?
Yeah.
Don't come out that room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen to the babies.
Yeah.
And you're right
Yeah.
to listen, and
You
if
get to
if
know
your
them.
child is uncomfortable
Somewhere.
around
Yeah.
Listen
that
to your
surroundings,
Yeah.
you need to listen.
But
And
yeah,
you
that's
need-
what I do with my son. I listen to
Okay.
him. Versus just being like, no, be quiet and do what I just said.
Do what I say? I'm grown, you ain't.
Yeah, like, what's
Right.
up, man? What you talking about?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
say what he say, then I'll form a, okay, you on some BS. Go on and do yada. You know what I mean?
Even at that point, I give like a listening ear. Sometimes I've taken a lot more nonsense than I wanted to take in back then. It's kind of what you said. I got more grace for everything now. So 9 times I give at least everybody 2 minutes to talk their stuff, and then after about 3 minutes, and then that's when I'll get real military. I start putting my boundaries and stakes up. Like okay, and then if you get belligerent with me, I'm gonna bring the Robbie, Fifi, Betty, Glad. I'm gonna bring it all. It's
Bring
gonna
it all
all
up.
be like a superpower to get the.
Our very strength invites challenge. Challenge incites conflict. And conflict breeds catastrophe.
This shunning this person that want to cause conflict. I think we've been defensively positioned to kill conflict. Because we've been arguing with each other so much through our life. Somebody on the outside, they got no chance with us.
Not a chance.
No chance. And then if you get outside the boundaries,
No
of
chance.
no chance.
So
Nobody on the outside
we done already been through it.
could hold nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing on the outside. Like you would have to come to us because what Kwame Brown said this, but this is Detroit people. Detroit people give respect, and they give respect. If they don't get respect, they're going to take that respect.
Oh, for sure.
That is our boundaries. We don't do nothing else. Like, we don't get respect, then you asking for me to take mine, and you asking for violence, and I'm going to get mine. And then, you know, we kind of cut like that. I seen all y'all act like this. So everybody got a little bit of that in them. So, next question.
Well, I want to know, does anybody want to answer, what do you do intentionally, you know, different from your elders? You have something to say? Come on, Robert.
Intentionally.
Intentionally different. I just use the power of communication is more. I have to listen and be more communicative, because when you listen, then you can ask a question and then get more in depth and how you get into understanding people more. And that's really my philosophy there. I listen and communicate better.
What about you, Lamont?
I'm still thinking he intentionally not to do right.
Yeah. So what trait? Something that you do intentionally different than your elders. What do you do different than your elders intentionally?
Anybody can answer that. I mean, anybody can go.
Yeah. What Fifi answer?
I got my answer.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
I think you nailed it.
I think we just try to be better. Just try to be better. Intentionally try to do better.
More aware of what you're doing in a moment, because you can definitely slip and not think you're doing nothing when not checked. But ain't nobody here to check us no more. We uncheckable. Let me just say that off for the record. Ain't nobody here can be. So I lay it like this: we uncheckable.
You trying to check me, boo?
Ain't nobody can be. We uncheckable. So basically, only people can come to you, give you suggestions and advice. Can't nobody check you on nothing. You can give your suggestion. You can give some advice. Other than that, I mean, what did you say?
I do have something that I didn't speak on. So one thing that I just replay some things in my head, just intentionally do with my child.
Yeah.
I teach him entrepreneurship.
That's
something that
that's
I don't think we were taught.
That's a breaker.
We want to talk money.
Period.
Not in school for real.
No.
You know, a little bit, but like I teach my son entrepreneurship. I have him working with me, doing different things. He's making good money. So like a lot of people might not know, we all have different walks of life. But most young men, if we can't get it, we gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
we definitely is.
Because it's in our DNA.
Yes, it is.
To provide, to hunt, and
feed.
I gotta feed my family. I gotta help my family. I have to help my mother in this single household get it together. So what do most young men do? If they can't find no job, or if they're too young to get a job legally, they going and doing some stuff they ain't got no business doing. So I intentionally teach my son entrepreneurship, and I have by having him work with me.
Yeah, that's an internet breaker there.
Yeah.
That's an internet. That was powerful what you just said. Like, yeah. I mean, even if we all did that, you have to say it though. So I'm glad you spit that out there.
Yeah, that's good. That's
deep.
good. Okay, well we're gonna go to the next question, because talking about our kids, all of us have children here. We all trying to do better.
Yep.
We always trying to intentionally make sure we have these conversations with our children. That may be hard for us, but we have to intentionally endure our, angst or nervousness about it to make sure we express it to them.
Correct.
So, talk about today's youth. I mean, how do you feel about today's youth? Do you think the next generation, which is Generation Z, Millennials and Generation Z, do you think that, they're suffering right now? Or do you think they're going to excel in life?
Okay, let me go right now, because what's on my mind is what I was talking to my daughter Morgan about in these videos, and I see it. So I hang around her a lot because they mind processes so fast, and we think we just know more. Whereas ain't nowhere close to what they doing. They doing shit this, and it's creating some kind of fog of mental depression. I've noticed, and like these got to be the flimsiest kids in the goddamn universe, right? But they can endure more stuff on a more higher speed level than we could ever. So I want to make the distinction, because I see older people, like they did us. Y'all young, y'all know shit, and this and that. We walk 12 miles. I didn't want to do that to these kids. I started evaluating them a little bit more. So I see what they're going through. They're very creative. They're very high-spirited. They're less conflictual, but they got all this internet shit that's filling their mind with no authentic shit. That's why we haven't... Exactly why we're doing this right now. It need to come from authentic people.
You say
the internet got it twisted.
The internet is that's
so
false.
The kids are seeing this.
This authentic. Yeah.
And so my last, just wrap it up. So I think the future is definitely better, just because you see the future's working out for us. All this modern shit. This is what we doing. This is modern. Yeah. Like if we stay in the old school, we'd be stuck and we'd be suffering more. So they pushing it forward. They learning from what my daughter told me. They learning from us. It's like they sponging it up. We still got some bad habits and ways that we ain't doing them no justice. Right. So I'm gonna say I will put my money on the new generation, because it's more fast paced and it's innovative and it's evolving. Ours you got to pass the torch. You know, you got to pass. You don't pass the torch, then you ain't talking about shit. You just gonna stay in that old AOL internet.
So you think they're gonna excel?
Yeah, I think that I put my money on the young people to excel.
Does anybody think children today are gonna suffer? Yes, no. We all think they're gonna excel.
I think it depends on the parent. I think it depends on the household.
Well, not even that, because they can still have a great household and then go out in this world and get cheated.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Still do backward shit, basically.
Yeah, but but if you raise them right to go out in this world and still they can be cheated, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's just talking about that.
That's you know what I'm saying, as black men and black
you're right.
Black women, black, you know what I'm saying, just being black, you know what I'm saying?
We can do right by our children, and I think was that me and you? We can do right by our kids. Yeah. They've been taught right from wrong, and then go out and do something just unspeakable. And I know I've said that I wouldn't be the parent to say what my child wouldn't do, because you should never say that. Yeah. Being raised right, being taught right, get out into the world, get caught up, and all you can say is, for me, I could say is, I did my job. But I think it just depends.
Yeah, that's correct.
I think they'll suffer if they don't listen. And
that too.
And if we don't show them.
In your gut feeling, do you feel like they're being guided?
And that's what I just said. If they don't listen, and we don't show them how to navigate.
No, I want you to be more firmer. That's an if. In your gut.
That's not an if.
In your gut, is that what you're saying? You feel like they'll be...
That's what that is.
Okay.
Like, I'm working on a mentorship program right now, and that's a part of it.
Okay.
Teaching them conflict resolution. Nobody's teaching them this.
Okay.
It used to be taught years ago.
Yes, it was.
Well,
I picked up on it.
Actually,
But what I've just... My observation over 15, 20 years, I've heard so many older people like, I'm not talking to them young people. And I'm like, well, who gonna talk to them? Right. Because if nobody talked to us, where would we be?
Yeah.
So I'm like, children do what they see before they do what we say.
We was young before.
So I stopped a long time ago. I was very mindful of what I did in front of my son and what I allowed him to see me doing. I'm not perfect by far.
Yeah.
But I made sure I'm like, oh no, okay. Because when you walk in that store, you holding his hand or her hand or whomever, and you chips and juice. You know the famous chips and juice.
Yeah.
What daddy got in his hand? What mama got in her hand?
Or
what she ordering from behind the... They paying attention.
Yes.
And by the time we realize that they've been paying attention, it's years later. Now we like, what you doing? They've been watching this for 4-5 years.
So survival mode puts us in those awkward, not really aware of what we're doing, because we be in survival mode.
Yep.
Meaning you got to do what you got to do. I only got $40, only got $100, got $200, got to stretch it out. So I'm doing this and that. So they're watching everything. They SpongeBob and everything.
But I think they'll survive, man, if they do that.
I think so too. But I just want to piggyback on, like, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department had this program, and I took Justin to the program. The prisoners, scared more or less, or scared straight. But what remember telling Tyrone, he was a Wayne County Sheriff at the time, this is an excellent program, but the downfall for that program is there's no follow through. So you bring these kids in to be scared straight because they've been truant, acting out, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And the parent chose this path, but there's no follow through. But so when you have a mentorship program or you get your kid involved and there's no follow through, then it's like, what's the point? You've defeated the purpose and we're back to square one.
This lady asked me one time when I went to a job interview last year. She said she saw the little names of things on my resume. She was like, so what are you trying to do with that? And I said, well, I'm working on a mentorship program, right? I'm putting things together slowly but surely because when it happens, I want it to be right. And her first words were, well, you're going to have some people that's going to fall through the cracks. And I said, that's what I'm trying to avoid, the people that are falling through the cracks. Because if I tell you, or somebody tells me, this happened to your child, we're going to be hurt.
Yeah.
We're not going to look at it as, oh, okay, that's just
Right.
through the cracks.
Right.
We don't want to hear that. Something happens at a school, a shooting, and you run up there trying to make sure your child, okay, hey, they just one of the ones that got hurt. They fell through the crack of it. That's not what you want to hear.
No, that's not
I'm
what you
trying
wanna
to
hear,
catch
though.
them before that happens. And to what you just said, there's no follow-ups.
No
we have an
follow-through.
initial thing, but nobody's like, hey, I'm just giving a courtesy call just to make how things going up. That's what you have to continue to do.
You have to.
You know, I remember,
Especially our black men.
Yeah.
Our boys, our black
Especially.
boys.
But I remember the follow through. It's funny because how we take things for granted. Because I remember when the follow throughs was there, it was another level to they ain't doing this, and then they took the follow throughs away, and then you forgot what they was doing here, and then it's like it's airy. It's like when you lose a program. Like my number one thing to say when I saw a loss and I've actually seen the effects of it is when Chrysler moved out of Highland Park.
I remember getting in high school. Oh, I probably should say that because I called my math teacher a bitch because she kept calling my.
Mama, man, don't start, Mom. Please don't start, Mama. Man, Mama.
Was talking. I mean, and the love. I mean, when we lived on Glendale and Woodrow Wilson, how all of us lived in an apartment, and grandmama was one, and granddaddy was in the one.
That matrix right there. That's like what I'm matrix.
Wait. You said grandma was.
Listen, they separated.
But they
So
weren't separated.
they separated, but they weren't separated. So it was a.